This year, I've rewatched a few of Edgar Wright's work, specifically Spaced, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End, and Baby Driver. Two in particular, Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, took roots with their last couple minutes that really affected my opinion of them both overall. Hot Fuzz is supposed to be my favorite movie ever. I care a lot about narrative function, brevity, keeping your story elegant and uncomplicated, and imbuing any aspect of your work that exists with as much meaning as possible, unless it's the point to not do so. Hot Fuzz especially is fantastic at this. No single part of the movie exists incidentally divorced from its surroundings, not even the jokes. Especially not the jokes. The fascist hag joke is about like 6 different things. You know why this movie's good. You've watched the video essays, or you watched the movie like a normal person, and you saw how good it was for yourself. I don't need to explain this. Hot Fuzz is the closest thing I've seen to a movie being ruined by one line of dialogue, and to make matters worse, it happens in the last 20 seconds before the credits. The line is,
"Chief, we've had a report of some hippie types messing with the recycling bins at the supermarket."
As used, this line is a nod to the completion of Nicholas's character arc. At this point, he's not only found the same sense of excitement in his Sanford job as he had in London, he's approaching his work with a newfound air of bombast and delight with a partner he loves. The reason this line isn't "there's a bank robbery" to lean into the pulpy, actiony side of what the movie's going for is because it's supposed to be mundane, the kind of call that you'd get as a police officer in a small town. And he likes it, he enjoys it. But the entire movie up until this point has been pointedly about the bigotry that lies behind the facade of British pleasantries. That for all the UK's posturing as a welcoming place, there's a sickness deep down that the police can and will enforce. It's actually extremely similar to the final act of Night in the Woods, that capitalism can be conceptualized as a god preying on the downtrodden and oppressed, one who requires sustenance from conservative boomers to keep the engines of capital turning. One of the groups mentioned in this scene are Irish travelers, an ethnic group that faces a huge amount of bigotry and oppression, and they're referred to using a slur. These aren't unintentional choices.
Scum. Travelers.
She could have just said, "Boys, the swans escaped again," and it'd be a perfect movie. Shaun of the Dead isn't as bad about this, but it's a movie I like less due to not being as good. Shaun's problem is arguably far more easily avoidable. The movie is about British capitalism and social spaces being so alienating as to literally turn us into zombies. Shaun's life is a cul-de-sac. He's nearing his 30s, doing nothing, caring about nothing, drinking every night. Liz wants him to grow up. The world hands him a perfectly wrapped call to action. But whatever change he could have undergone doesn't occur. In the end, he has the same routine in the same house, except he gets a roast before going to the pub. This isn't the ambition that Liz wanted out of life. It's not the maturation that Shaun needed. The zombie apocalypse happens and it just gets assimilated into satellite TV, repackaged to the survivors. Nothing changed. That's cool. I like that conceptually as an ending, but it's framed as good here. They both survived. Shaun got the girl, so he must have sorted his life out, right? Shaun is so incapable of letting go of the part of him that doesn't want to grow up that he keeps his zombified best friend chained to the wall of his shed so he can play video games. I don't want to sound dour. This is a really funny bit. I don't hate this ending, and I don't want to sound like I'm nitpicking over how a comedy movie didn't rigorously and unconditionally stick to its themes. But learning to enjoy the wonder in day-to-day life isn't invalid as a theme by any means, but it'd be better suited to a movie about, a hardcore cop that can't switch off or something. And as of the release of Shaun of the Dead, there's just not a Edgar Wright movie about that. Next, The World's End gets it perfect. Gary's a character that cannot fit into modern society. He's just got out of a psych ward and gathers his school friends in a reattempt of his failure to complete the pub crawl, which was supposed to signify his steps into adulthood. When he returns, the town he used to know has changed, lost its character, its humanity. The family pubs that made the mile notable have all been replaced by Wetherspoons. He's scrambling for stability in a totally uncaring world that he doesn't know how to exist in. All of the Cornetto Trilogy is about alienation, but this is the one that's most on the nose about it. The movie ends with Gary blowing up the society he finds so impenetrable. He's better suited to a more human world. Thanks for watching.